to the fifth episode of the Childfree Goddess Podcast, a podcast made for and by a child-free woman to empower you in your child-free choice wherever you are in your journey. My name is Wilmarie Hernandez. I'm a transformational life coach for child-free women, creator of the Instagram community Life Without Kids, the Kid-Free Blueprint, the Child-Free Woman Circle community in Discord, and the Child-Free Sisterhood group program. Before we start, I would, as always, like to invite you to take a couple of deep breaths and relax. But to be quite honest, today's topic is not necessarily meant to be relaxing. See, a few days ago, a person left me a comment on Instagram saying that women who never give birth are at higher risk of cancer. At first, I thought, wow, there are people out here really trying to convince me of having kids. But I guess now it's dressed as a health concern. Let me read the comment to you. This person said, "We've seen massive increases in the cancer rates among women due to the falling birth rates and not getting pregnant, which prevents cancer. Uterine cancer is up 50% since 2020, according to science. Trust the science." And then this person quotes this, but never says where they got this information. They quote, "Nulliparity, which means never having given birth, is a well-established long-term and permanent risk factor for breast cancer, particularly for post-menopausal breast cancer. Research consistently shows that nulliparous women have a 20 to 40% higher risk of developing post-menopausal breast cancer compared to women who had their first full-term pregnancy before age 25. And I have to say, I was very impressed because to me, this is a new tactic. Nobody has ever tried to make me feel like I should have kids just to prevent cancer. And honestly, good try. I mean, I literally told them that. This was my response. I'll read it to you. I said, "Interesting, because all the people I personally know that have dealt with breast cancer had multiple kids. But regardless, I still rather not have them. Good try." So after my initial surprise of encountering a new bingo for child-free women and realizing that I genuinely rather get cancer than having a child, I started to actually reflect on this. I mean, what a genius way to appeal to most people's greatest fear without calling child-free people moral failures. Now it's not about failing your family or humanity or being selfish. Now it's about taking care of your own health. It's like saying, don't have children for us. Do it for yourself. And the fact that his comment said that, and I quote, "Child-free women have a higher risk of postmenopausal breast cancer compared to women who had their first full-term pregnancy before age 25. Of course, this is a classic example of trying to get younger women to make motherhood their priority in life. Very convenient, right? Well, this is the thing. I've read studies that say the opposite. But in reality, I feel like it doesn't really matter because there are so many studies about cancer. And what we see around us is that it can also be random or it can be linked to an incredible number of factors. But I think using the possibility of cancer as a way to persuade a woman to have kids appeals to a greater fear in people's minds. And what that fear could be? the fear of death. I think when most people hear the word cancer, the first possibility that crosses their mind is death, and understandably so. Even though, and I quote, the 5-year relative survival rate for all cancers combined in the US has reached approximately 70% for people diagnosed between 2015 and 2021. But the great majority of people I've met do have a fear of death, whether their own or someone they love. I know because I was one of them. The fear, however, stopped after my dad unexpectedly passed in 2017. One of the biggest lessons grief gave me was to live the present moment as intentional and wholeheartedly as I could. And so when I read this comment, I decided to do a thought experiment. And of course, I took it to the extreme because why not? And the thought experiment was this: how would I feel if I was told that I have incurable cancer and what caused it was exclusively the fact that I did not give birth? My first response was that I would honestly still prefer not to have kids. I think I feel so sure of that because I know that having kids could not totally spare me the cancer. I know at least 3 women close to me who battled breast cancer, and all of them had multiple kids and also led a pretty regular life, not smoking, no alcohol, etc. So I know that given the chances, I still rather not have kids. The second thought I had was, well, how would I face my imminent death? And yet again, I felt calm and at peace. I genuinely feel that if I die today, I'll be at peace with myself and will have no regrets. Beyond that, I realized that I'm pretty confident that my exit from this existence will be full of love. I have a husband who will be by my side until the end and who will try to make me laugh as much as possible. I have a family who I know will open the door of their homes if I needed it. I have friends who would fly to spend time with me, call me, text me, and who will fill my days with loving positive energy. And if I cannot move much, I will probably spend time watching all the videos of all our travels on YouTube, enjoying my adventures all over again, while of course getting high. I'm pretty sure that besides the financial challenge that the vast majority of people battling cancer in the US face, and of course the physical pain, I will be at peace. I know I'll be at peace because I make sure of that every single day. Since my dad passed, that has become this ever-present thing in my life. It became sort of a friend, the type of friend who tells you the truths you do not want to hear, but you need to hear. I realized that death is the inevitable goal, a goal that is not about speed, but about direction. What route do you want to take? What is the experience you want to have on the way to it? I'm grateful for that comment now because it made me reflect on this and realize once again that I've made the best choice for me and that I have continued to trust that same inner knowing for every other choice every day. I hope this episode made you reflect as well on your own life, maybe brought you more clarity, more intention, more gratitude. As always, it's been a pleasure spending this time with you today. Remember to sign up for the free virtual Childfree Women Circle in Discord. And to learn more about my offerings, visit www.childfreegoddess.com. Let's take a deep breath as we say goodbye. I hope you take some time this week to be truly present in your own life. And before going to bed tonight, remember to write yourself a love note, listing at least one thing you did today that you want to thank yourself for, and one thing you want to forgive yourself for. Remember that sisterhood starts within, and you deserve to receive the love you so selflessly give to everything around you. Until next one, Goddess.